For far too long, the 5-year survival rate has remained virtually unchanged in the single digits. This deadly disease has taken our best and our brightest, our family and our friends. It's time to forge a future where more patients actually have one.
That's the thing about pancreatic cancer. Many patients don't make it. You know, we often throw statistics your way to help you really understand the impact of something. So take just a moment and let this next one really sink in. 72% of pancreatic cancer patients will die within the first year of learning that they have the disease.
And that is why we wear purple, to remember those who've lost their battle, to support the lucky ones who are still fighting, and to encourage everyone else, do what you can to wage hope and fight this deadly disease.
Now, landmarks across the world are doing their part. In the past, Niagara Falls turned purple for pancreatic cancer, and it's doing the same thing tonight. Other locations across the world are also lit up in purple. You can see a few of them here, making quite the statement.
So that's a glimpse of what the world is doing. Let's focus now on what researchers are working on. A new study finds a specialized form of immunotherapy can boost the survival rates of pancreatic cancer in mice by more than 75%. The therapy involves disease-fighting immune cells. Researchers from Washington say human trials are planned within the next year.
So just how much of an advancement could this be? Well, researcher Phil Greenberg says, as best we can tell, this would be a better therapy than anything that exists for pancreatic cancer right now. It's hard to be this optimistic without ever having treated a pancreatic cancer patient with this therapy. But the biology of what we're doing looks so good.
Certainly welcome news for the 49,000 people who will be diagnosed with pancreatic cancer this year. The Pancreatic Cancer Action Network reports 40,000 patients will die from the disease. Now, to break that down a bit more, only 7% of people diagnosed with pancreatic cancer survive more than 5 years.
Now, by now, you're probably wondering why pancreatic cancer is so deadly. Well, experts at the Mayo Clinic say it's often discovered too late. In fact, they say by the time symptoms of the disease appear, pain in the upper abdomen, yellow skin and eyes, weight loss, the disease is usually advanced. Also, pancreatic cancer often spreads quickly throughout the body, and the Mayo Clinic says the recurrence is likely. Now, considering all of those statistics, let's focus on the silver lining. There are patients who beat the odds.
Patients who live life to the fullest because they really understand what they had to overcome to survive. Patients like Bob Lougheed, or should we say Elvis? Yeah, you may remember when Bob was on the show a few years back. He shared his story of survival after he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer about 7 years ago.
Well, Bob is back, and we are happy to have him here with us this afternoon. So, first question right off the bat, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
Yeah?
Feeling great.
You're looking great.
Every day is a holiday for me. It really is.
Yeah, it's 7 years of survival, and as we just heard, that's quite a big deal. Take us back to when you were first diagnosed.
07, it was July, and I was diagnosed. I had gone in the hospital with some pain in my hip, and thank God for an emergency room doctor that decided to do a CAT scan. I had hurt my hip in the tile business, and he said he found a spot. And his normal protocol at that point would be, you know, my blood work looked fine, check in with your family doctor in about 6 months. But then he said, there's a reason you're here. Can we do a biopsy? And he did. And he saved my life.
Wow. So how much has your life changed since that diagnosis?
It has completely changed. I moved to the beach to kind of take life easy. Yeah. Was out goofing around one night with my brother. Got up with a band, and a lady heard me singing, and she asked me to go over and do an Elvis show. Elvis's birthday, 2010, for a lady that was 90, that had the same birthday as Elvis, and that she wasn't expected to live too much longer. We did the show. The next day, my brother took me out and bought me all the equipment that I needed to do this. Yeah. And that's what I've been doing since.
Wow.
I still get so, as you can tell, so emotional over it.
But you don't waste a minute, do
don't.
you? That's important, right?
I don't. Each day, I get to meet somebody new, sing to somebody, and have an impact on somebody's life in however I can do that. and it's completely changed my life.
Wow. Thank you for sharing your story. If I may ask, what is your prognosis now?
2 years ago, I received a phone call from my doctor from Fox Chase Cancer Center in Philadelphia, and I hadn't seen him in over a year and a half because I live down the beach now. And he has always called me by my last name, Lougheed. So I get this phone call, Lougheed, yeah, Dr. Hoffman. I said, hi, Dr. Hoffman. He goes, how you feeling? Feel great. He goes, you still alive? And he's laughing. We just had this great rapport.
Right.
I said, yeah. He goes, you're cured. Go live life.
Really?
And I said, Doc, I beat you to it. I've been living it for 3 years now. And that was 2 years ago. So he just retired October 10th, the day that my daughter was married. And so I could not make his retirement dinner, but that man saved my life.
Wow.
That's wonderful. All right. So if you could spread one message to pancreatic cancer patients or even the families about this, your whole experience, what would it be?
You're going to need help. It's the people that survive this, and it's a shame. And you know, you talked about the statistics. I got lucky. I survived it because I got lucky. People should not survive this disease because they got lucky. They should survive it because there's treatments. And the problem is we don't have enough treatments. They're making some strides toward, but really the difficulty is there's no research dollars. We only get 2% of the National Cancer Institute funding. And yet we are the 4th leading cause of cancer deaths right now. And by the year 2020, we'll be the 2nd leading cause. It's 7%. That means 93 people out of every 100 will die. There's no way around that. I can't put it in any better terms. 93 people out of every 100 will die. And it's because we don't have funding. And it really goes back to doctors and research scientists. They have to go where the funding is.
Right.
They have bills to pay. They have college, you know, they have student loans to pay. They have to go where the funding is.
Yeah.
We only get 2% from the National Cancer Institute. And so we just don't have enough
Just got to get the funds.
great people working on this. We have some super people working, but not enough.
Bob, thank you so much for
Thanks
coming
for
on and
sharing your
talking about
Thank
this.
you.
And to read more about pancreatic cancer and what you can do to show your support, go to WBOC.com, click on our picture at the top of the page.
Well, another cancer that takes far too many lives, lung cancer. But now a new screening is offering hope for many people, and we're going to learn all about it and get a glimpse of how it actually works next.
Plus, the amazing story of a pup's persistency. Hear why her human says it very well may have saved her life. Delmarva Life, we'll be right back.